If you can't tell by the background, I love LED tube lights, but in this video, we're going to take a look at the Amaran PT1C and talk about some of my favorite features of this light and who I think it's for. This light's a great fill light to use in the corner of a scene, or if you need to just fill in a little bit of an area with some color. You can run different effects on this because this has pixel effects, so that can add a cool scroll of color behind your item if you're doing close-up B-roll shots. So these are great to be used as a practical really anywhere in your scene. What's really nice about the PT1C is it's RGB, and it also does white color temperature really well, anywhere from 2700 all the way to 10,000 kelvins, so it can be daylight or tungsten or anything in between. This puts out light at 370 lumens, so just note that is not super bright. Right now we've got it at 18% on it, and you can see whenever I hold it up to my face, it just adds a little bit of color. It's not going to overpower my key lights. What's great about the PT1C is it's battery powered, and it integrates really well into the Aperture and Amaran lighting system. You can control it either using buttons on the back, or you can use the Sidus Link app, or also the new Amaran Creators app to change the color, activate different effects, and just access all the different features this light has to offer. This light can either be powered in battery mode, or you can also power it from the USB-C port that's on the back of it. And if you're going to use the USB-C port on it to keep it running continuously, I definitely recommend getting it on the settings and disabling the battery. That's just going to prolong your battery life on this. So the controls on the back are really easy to navigate through the menu. The buttons have a nice little click to them. There's power, back and menu, up and down, and the OK button. This is really intuitive to control, but where it really shines is when you use it with the Sidus Link app, and when you combine it into an ecosystem of other Aperture and Amaran lights like I have right now, you're able to easily get in, adjust all the different lights, save presets, groups, and scenes. It's super intuitive, and I've used several of the different lighting brands. I find myself going back to Aperture and Amaran lights because the quality of light is the best, and their app just works better than any of the other ones that I've used. You don't get a ton of accessories with the PT1C. All it includes is a USB-C to USB-A charging cord, and there's also a little sleeve for storing it in, but there's no clips or any other accessories that come with it. It also does not have a charger, so you'll need to supply your own. You can mount this in a couple different ways. There's magnets on it. You can also rotate the end cap, so if you have it on a surface magnetically, you can adjust the angle that this is pointing down at, or the ends of this are also angled, so it's very easy to just set it on a surface and change the direction that this light is pointing. On the end caps, there's 3/8" threads for mounting this to magic arms or other accessories, and you can also always buy the Amaran tube light clips, and this allows you to mount them a little bit closer to the center. The one issue with the clips though is the buttons are kind of in the middle, so that doesn't always work very well. You have to offset it just a little bit to use the clips. A couple other features to note: there's 4 pixels in this, so it can do color scrolling, but it's not going to be quite as good as some of the bigger tube lights like the PT2C and the PT4C that have more pixels. Another thing about this, it's very lightweight. It just weighs about 0.69 pounds, and the battery on it is rated for about 70 minutes, and that's at maximum brightness. But I find I typically don't feel like I get that amount of battery life on it, but I also always am running the Bluetooth on this to network it with the other lights. So I tend to typically use this plugged into a wall outlet, or also I'll use a power bank with it if I want to prolong the battery life. The PT1C is an RGB light that also does white color temperatures really well. You can go from 2700 kelvins all the way to 10,000 kelvins in the whites, and then it puts out light at about 370 lumens. You can also buy a grid if you want to tighten up the light pattern on this, and there's even a DMX adapter that plugs into the USB-C port if you want to be able to control this with other light fixtures in a wired environment. The PT1C is mostly made of plastic, and when I got it out of the box, I was honestly really surprised at how lightweight it feels. It does have a little bit of a cheaper feel, so I definitely recommend being careful when you handle it. I've dropped mine a couple of times on carpet, and I haven't had any issues, but it does feel like if you dropped it hard enough on concrete, you might be able to break it. The PT1C goes for $140, which feels a little bit more expensive than some of the other shorter tube lights like this, but I think the reason it's worth it is because it integrates so well into the Aperture and Amaran lighting system. Whenever you get one of these, you're going to want to get more of these, and I much prefer the look of a tube light to one of the lights like the MC Pro or the standard MC, or even the B7C is cool as well. But this you can just stick anywhere. You can stand it up on its side like this. You can lay it down, adjust the angle, mount it with the clip, mount it with the 3/8" thread. They're so lightweight, the possibilities are endless for the PT1C. So this is going to be a great versatile light for anyone who's looking for just a short pixel stick. Amaran also has the PT2C, and they have the PT4C, which you can see behind me. Those offer more accessories in the box. They're longer. The 2C is 2 foot long. The 4C is 4 foot long. They also include power adapters, cases, and the clips to mount them. I think my personal favorite is the PT2C. I have those over here. They just fit my shelf a little bit better, but for most people, the PT1C is still going to do a great job at adding a lot of light to an area. Even now, I'm only using the PT2C at 30% brightness, so you can easily max the brightness out on this thing and get a ton of output on it. Adjust the angle, adjust the positioning, and be really happy with the accent that you're able to get from having a PT1C in the background of your videos. So the PT1C is for the creator who's looking for a light for shelves or as decor or accent lighting. And I love that you can either face it towards the camera or away to light up a wall, or use it as a fill light if you're trying to get a B-roll shot and you just need to add a little bit of light to a scene. So overall, I highly recommend the Amaran PT1C for anyone who's looking for a tube light that's versatile for a ton of different uses, and if you want to integrate it into the Aperture or Amaran ecosystem. I have links to buy it in the description below, and if you have any other questions about this light or any of the other Aperture or Amaran lights, leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming content.